Welcome back to Squawk Box. Some conflicting signals lately for the U.S. economy. First, Fitch downgrading U.S. credit. Then we got a fairly Goldilocks-like jobs report on Friday. Joining us to talk about both of these topics and his take on whether Bidenomics is working, Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware. Senator, good morning to you. And I'll ask you the question just as we set this segment up. Is Bidenomics working?
Well, you just said, and I agree with you, that we had a Goldilocks jobs report. And frankly, both J.P. Morgan and Bank of America have now changed their forward-looking forecasts to say we are, in fact, going to have a soft landing. Broadly, the economic news for the United States is good. And compared to virtually every other advanced economy, we are coming out of the pandemic very strong, with steadily lowering inflation, with the lowest unemployment, the lowest sustained unemployment in our lifetimes, and with steady, good job growth. So 13 million private sector jobs created so far during the Biden administration, 800,000 high-skill, high-wage manufacturing jobs, and the markets overall for the year responding very favorably. So the Fitch downgrade took me somewhat by surprise, and I frankly think it reflects more their concerns about political instability than their concerns about the fundamentals of the American economy.
Well, let me then ask you about the political instability question, but put it in the presidential context, which is you look at Bidenomics, you look at this administration, and then you look at the polls. And you just said you thought Bidenomics was working on a number of metrics. If that is so true, why is it, how is it that former President Trump is polling in many polls effectively at the same level or ahead of the current president?
Well, Andrew, bluntly, former President Trump, a reality TV star more than he was an actual successful business leader, did a great job of taking credit for things he didn't do. And President Biden has actually delivered on things former President Trump promised to do. I'll give you three quick examples. Infrastructure. He said it so many times it became a running joke that it was going to be infrastructure week at long last. President Trump promised he would fix our infrastructure. President Biden delivered a big, bold, bipartisan infrastructure investment bill. The former president said he'd tackle prescription drug prices, which are a significant cost for every American family. President Biden signed that bill into law. President Trump said he would strengthen manufacturing, bring back good jobs from overseas. President Biden actually signed into law the CHIPS and Science Act, which is investing $52 billion in reshoring semiconductor chip manufacturing, which has been leveraged by a 4-to-1 match, at least from the private sector, hundreds of billions of dollars of new investment in high-skill manufacturing jobs all over the country. President Biden goes this week to the Southwest, to several states, to say, here we are on the anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act and soon the anniversary of the PACT Act, the biggest expansion of veterans care in our history. I, too, somewhat am puzzled, Andrew, to your question, about the gap between what former President Trump is given credit for Senator, in the polls and President Biden's actual record. I believe the polls will catch up with the record in time.
But so then the question becomes, is this a messaging problem, or is this, in fact, that Americans feel, and it may be a function of inflation and wage growth on a relative level to prices, which have gone much higher, and people sit around and say, this is not such a great economy. And it's very hard to sort of understand what is either a disconnect or not based on the stats that you cite and therefore the polls and the way apparently America feels.
So, Andrew, 3/4 of Americans feel better about their own economic future. They feel they have their feet under them, that they can see growth, they can see opportunities for them. I'm confident that will gradually translate into confidence that President Biden's approach to rebuilding our economy from the bottom up and the middle out will prevail over a view that the better way to grow our economy is through more tax cuts for the very wealthiest Americans. You could not see a sharper contrast between former President Trump's approach to the economy and President Biden's. And as 25,000 new construction projects get underway in the coming 6 to 9 months, you're going to see, I believe, more and more Americans credit the job growth, the steady improvement in our economy, the steady strengthening of our place in the world stage, as compared to the chaos of the Trump presidency. They're going to credit that to President Biden. And I think going into the elections next year, we're going to be on a very firm footing.
Senator, do you think that the Fitch downgrade changes the dynamic among Democrats in terms of spending over time?
I do think it heightens the fact that we need a bipartisan approach to addressing our deficits and our debt. President Biden put forward a budget this year that would have cut our deficits by trillions of dollars over the coming decade. It was rejected out of hand by House Republicans. They're proposing an alternative approach. We frankly need to find a way forward in the middle that balances revenue and spending in a positive way. I believe in President Biden's approach, which is investing in America, investing in the middle class, growing what has been the backbone of our economy for decades now. And I think in the end, the economics of the coming year and the election of the year ahead will prove that out.
Do you think that the Democrats will ever touch things like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, things of that nature, pushing either ages out farther, not again today, but maybe 20 years from now, doing things like means testing? Is that on the table, you think, for the Democratic Party, or never?
Well, look, the Democratic Party is going to stand staunchly behind protecting benefits for those who have worked their entire lives, paid into Social Security, and are counting on it for their retirement. But to the extent there are ways that we can address some of the revenue limits, some of the ways in which there are income caps for revenue for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, ways that we could improve these programs to make them more sustainable for the long term, I do think there has to be a bipartisan conversation
Senator,
about it.
Because
we can see the timeline in which they're going to go under.
What I just heard you say between the lines, and tell me if I'm wrong, is actually that the way to solve Social Security is not to either push out ages or to means test them, but to raise taxes on the wealthiest above the current limit so that they're paying more into the program. Is that what you're saying?
That is one path forward. That's one that I would support. I recognize that the art of politics is finding one that both parties can support. But frankly, at the end of the day, Democrats are not going to cut benefits under Social Security. So we're going to have to find a way forward that includes revenue. Most Republicans I've met with or spoken with will not consider revenue. We have to find a solution. As you know, the last time there was a big bipartisan solution, President Reagan was in office, and it took both parties being willing to come to the middle.
Senator Coons, we always appreciate talking to you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Andrew.